Canadian has put on the show here. Again, she came in as the leader.
She's really winding up on her flip-flops, and it looks like she's going to be fine, but she doesn't quite get her knees in fast enough to that double tuck, and she loses a little rotation.
That right there, of course, is a 5/10 deduction with a fall.
One of her own teammates, Monica Cavacci, is one of those that may have a chance of overtaking Tara after that fine performance, and of course that's still to come in the beam. We are halfway through the floor and the beam exercise now. Still more to come from San Antonio, the Alamo City, as we've got the annual Women's Gymnastics Classic still ahead. Don't go away here on HSE. And also 2 out of the top 3 of last night's competition in the balance beam to compete here in San Antonio. Let's move back to the beam. This is Amy Craig out of the Browns Gymnastics in Orlando. Last evening, a 9.35 tied her for one of the top 6 spots and moved her into today's competition of the 9 competitors in the beam.
That is a very unique mount. The judges really like to see some different things when they watch the balance beam instead of just the same old thing.
Yeah, it's not that hard, but it's just really pretty, I thought.
Oh,
come on.
Looked like she had it, and then her foot just slipped off the beam.
By the way, as we continue to watch Amy Craig, again, our congratulations to Kelly Garrison-Steeves, the new Big 8 champion once again in the gymnastics for this particular year. Congratulations, Kelly, and a job well done at Ames yesterday.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Of course, Kelly is one of those that will compete for an Olympic spot. That's got to be quite a thing to think about, Kelly.
Yes, we're all training very hard for that this year, just like all the rest of the girls here. I will be competing with them a little bit later this year.
Kelly sets the standards, though, on being a competitor. I've never seen a girl, young, old, or whatever, that could compete with Kelly. She's just such a tiger. It's just amazing.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
And here's her dismount around off full. A little bit easier than the others, but she might have been a little bit more conservative since she had a fall earlier in the routine.
So as they'll tabulate the scores there on the beam, again, the fall, again by Amy Craig, and consoled there by her coach, Kevin Brown, out of Orlando. Alamo Springs in Florida, just outside the Orlando area, which has certainly become one of the fastest growing areas in America today, and they are starting to see a new influx of even more and more gymnasts. We're seeing those here this afternoon. Kim Shemelski will be coming up as our next competitor. Kim from Houston and the Caroli Gym. Shemelska, one of those young ladies that...
Full in, pike out, excellent. That's the hardest tumbling skill we've seen so far. And it's not your TV set. This girl is really small. Looks really elegant out there, though. She really is graceful for her size, isn't she, Kelly?
Yeah, she certainly has the dance skills also, along with her tumbling. As you notice throughout the rest of the routine, her toe point is just beautiful.
Round out, flip over, full punch front, and then she keeps going. This is what the Romanians did in the World Championships, just wowed everybody.
As you can tell, she is young and will soon start expressing herself just a little bit more to the crowd and looking up instead of off the floor. But she has been doing a fantastic job so far.
I call those pretzel pirouettes. I don't know why. Oh, nice split leaps.
Here she does prepare for her last tumbling pass.
She's got about twice as far as everybody else, so I doubt that she'll go out of the area.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful double pike. Nice routine.
Very nice. 12-year-old Kim Shemelska from Houston, Texas. And again, only 12 years of age, as Kelly pointed out. She again will get that, well, the seasoning more or less. She has the talent. We've seen that here early this afternoon as one of the top competitors. She, by the way, came into this competition on the floor exercise as the 3rd best scorer of last night. She came in with a 9.70. Let's take a look at the first pass that kind of got the attention of the crowd here early.
She is mature beyond her years as far as I'm concerned on her execution. I don't know how her other events were, but this floor exercise routine is excellent. There's a full in pike out. She keeps her legs straight on the second flip, which makes it very difficult to complete. And she over-rotated it to boot, so she had a lot of power. Now she's standing up and the other girls are sitting down.
Especially with the teammates there, it's always hard to try to explain what you do sometimes along the way, isn't it? Let's move back to the balance beam once again. Julie Onstead. Julie, another one of those young ladies from Houston with the newest of the gymnastics over there, Gymnastics America.
That's a Valdez. Fairly simple skill, but it looks awfully pretty. Very nice split leap. Here she continues and is preparing for her, probably one of her hardest skills. Flip-flop, flip-flop, lay out, step out. Very nicely done. She looks so calm up here on the balance beam.
Confidence is a key, isn't it, Kelly? You got to be really confident to do balance beam.
Yes, you certainly do. You should know your routine inside out. It's a gainer layout. Small bobble, but it shouldn't cost her too much.
You know, the skills they're doing now on the balance beam, everybody is sort of, I don't know, not that impressed with the skills, whereas I can remember about 3-4 years ago, the stuff that these girls do all the time was just so impressive, so different.
And there she finishes up. The bell you heard was a timing, and you have 5 seconds to get off the balance beam once you hear it. If not, there is a deduction.
So there you have Julie Onstead, who last night was the 8th best competitor in the beam. They brought 9 to the competition today. So she would have had to have an excellent score to move up, because Tara Sherwood has certainly set these standards coming into today's activity.
That was a simple dismount, but she did it perfect.
Yeah. Sometimes that's better than throwing a really hard one and not making it.
Tara will have, of course, one of her teammates from Canada and another young lady from Salt Lake City to compete with in the beam. But now let's move Tasha Stafford. She's from the Curly Gymnastics in Houston, Texas, and this is her second of the events. She earlier was on the balance beam.
She's an excellent tumbler, too. We saw her warm up, and she'll do a full and back out on her first pass. There she goes. Nice run. Long flip-flop, full in, pike out.
Oh, very nice
job. Now, the line judge raised her hand, so obviously she must have put her foot on the line. What does that cost him, a 10th, Kelly?
It's a 10th for your step out of bounds. A lot of the people don't realize it, but every step out is another 10th. If you step out twice, then there's 2 10ths right there, and this really add up in a close competition.
Round-off flip-flop, double twist with perfect form. I like to see flip-flops with the legs together. I guess that's a coach in me. She's good, but she's not that expressive, is she?
No, she really isn't, but, you know, maybe she really is concentrating on her tumbling this time around. Maybe later on in the season it'll get a little bit better.
Nice double tuck with perfect form. Excellent.
That right there probably shows why she wasn't expressing as much. If you can just get all of that together, expression along with the tumbling, that's what makes it perfect.
Tasha Stafford, once again, who came into the competition, tied with Wendy Bruce with the best score of last night at 9.75. And Wendy Bruce and the youngest competitor, Shannon Miller, still to come on the floor exercise. There's still more to come on this Alamo City Women's Gymnastics Classic, and we'll have it for you. Don't go away. We'll return in just a moment. A moment ago, it was a 10th of a deduction on the floor exercise by Tasha Stafford a moment ago, and just the littlest of bobbles. Well, let's take a look at it on the first of the tumbling runs here on the floor exercise.
It's almost too bad. It doesn't matter how hard the pass was. You can see her foot on the line there, because that was an excellent full in back out, but she still gets a 10th off.
So again, keep in mind, she came in as tied with Wendy Bruce as the best scores of last night's competition. The floor exercise, Wendy is still to come along with the youngest competitor, Shannon Miller. Back to the beam exercise. We have 2 more competitors here, and now we can very easily decide a champion. Denise Villers out of Salt Lake City in the Rocky Mountain Gymnastics team came in 3rd in the competition at 9.55 last night. Tara Sherwood has set the standard here early as she came in as the leader, 9.7, and had an excellent routine a moment ago.
She just did a very unique mount. It's a round-off flip-flop onto the beam. It's fairly difficult. Again, the round-off entry always makes it nice and a little bit more powerful. There, she did a flip-flop standing, or flip-flop back tuck. Not too difficult, but it was performed very well. Very, very nicely done. That has been a common skill done today, the flip-flop layout back.
It's not too common that you see it done that well, though, huh?
That's true.
Oh.
She must have made a mistake. She was going for some kind of dance element, and somehow her foot must have slipped, but she did cover it well. Be interesting to see how much the judges take off for that.
Kelly, I was going to ask, with the difficulty of the mount, would that help her in a bobble in that situation to maybe not take so much away? Obviously, it would be a deduction, but maybe not as much as...
Actually, if you make a mistake like that, they will take the deduction regardless of the rest of the routine.
Wow, double
nice
pike.
dismount there.
That's the hardest dismount we've seen so far, a double pike.
We saw Denise perform in this meet last year with the Corolla Gym over in Houston. She has now since moved out to Salt Lake City, training under Mark Lee with the Rocky Mountains Gymnastic camp out there. And again, another one of the young ladies that hopes to do quite well in the competition later on this summer.
Here's the mount again. Round off onto the board and a back handspring up onto the balance beam. It's always a crowd pleaser.
So the mount by Denise Villers. She waits for her score, as we will for the judges to tabulate it all. And now we head back once again to the floor exercise. Tasha Stoppard, once again, from Houston. She's already completed her exercise. Now, the young lady that tied her at 9.75 on the floor exercise last night, Wendy Bruce, already with a championship on the bars. This is her floor exercise.
She wasn't happy with her beam. Let's see if she can make a comeback on floor. It's upbeat music. Pull in, tuck out, nice and high.
Popular music, like you said before, upbeat. The crowd usually really gets into this type of music.
So whip through, 2 flip-flops and a nice double tuck. Oh, put her hands down. Is that about a 310, Sarah?
Yes, 310. Looked like she could have saved it almost, but she did put her hands down and it will be a deduction. Nice dance element of turn.
One thing the girls do, Sam, you may not be aware of, is that they, to build up their endurance on floor, they do what we call dance throughs, and they do all their dance elements, and they just, instead of tumbling, they just run to the next place where they do their dance elements, and that's how they build their endurance up, as well as, you know, double up on their dance practice. Flip-flop, double full, nicely done.
So again, one slight deduction for Wendy Bruce, as we indicated during the routine. Stepping on the line out of the workout area by Stafford earlier, so it still could be very tight, as our youngest competitor, of course, Shannon Miller, is still to come in our floor exercise, which would be the last competitor that could overtake for a championship here today in San Antonio. And again, Wendy Bruce, who has just had an excellent meet, going for a 4th consecutive invitational championship in 4 meets.
She's really high on this full in. Notice a full in on the first flip, a back flip on the second flip, and a really strong landing.
This is one of the best performed today, I think.
I agree.
So now let's move back to the balance beam. We had made mention that Tara Sherwood has been setting the standard there. She from Canada, her teammate, Monica Cavacci, is now ready to go, and she could overtake her here, as she is the 9th and final competitor in the balance beam.